Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will journey through Tales of Old Japan by AB Mitford. Tales of Old Japan by AB Mitform, also known as Lord Redesdale, is a collection of classical Japanese stories that paint a vivid picture of Japan's culture, traditions, and societal values during the Edo period. Published in 1871, these tales were among the first to introduce Western audiences to the rich folklore and historical narratives of Japan. The collection includes various stories of heroism, revenge, love, and supernatural occurrences, providing a unique glimpse into the lives and beliefs of the Japanese people of that era. One of the most renowned stories in this collection is the tale of the 47 Rônins, which exemplifies the themes of loyalty and honor deeply ingrained in the samurai code. Plot summary. In the early years of the 18th century, there lived a nobleman, Asano Takumi no Kami, the Lord of Akko, a loyal vassal under the shogun's reign. One day, an imperial envoy was sent to visit the shogun's court, and both Asano and another noble, Kame-sama, were tasked with receiving the envoy and adhering to the court's intricate ceremonies. To assist them, the court official Kira Katsuke no Suke was appointed as their instructor. Kira, however, was a man of greed and pride, and he expected lavish gifts from the nobles he helped. Asano and Kame offered their customary presents, but Kira found them unworthy and took to insulting them openly. Though Kame was filled with rage and planned to kill Kira, his wise retainers quickly pacified him by bribing Kira with a grand gift. Kira's attitude toward Kame softened, and the two nobles remained at peace. But Asano, who had not bribed Kira, continued to suffer his insults. Enduring for as long as he could, Asano's patience broke when Kira mocked him one final time, commanding him to tie the ribbon of his shoe like a lowly servant. Asano, enraged, drew his dagger and struck at Kira within the palace walls. His blow only wounded Kira slightly, but such an attack in the shogun's palace was a grave offense. For this act, Asano was sentenced to commit harakiri, the ritual suicide, and his family's lands were seized. The death of Asano left his retainers, now Ronin, masterless samurai, devastated. 47 of them, led by Asano's chief retainer Oishi Kurenasuke, swore an oath to avenge their lord's death by killing Kira. But they knew their path would not be easy. Kira, expecting retaliation, fortified his home and placed himself under the watchful protection of his father-in-law's men. The Ronin, determined yet patient, waited for the right moment. To deceive Kira and his spies, Oishi feigned a life of drunkenness and debauchery. He abandoned his wife and children, frequented brothels, and was often seen stumbling in the streets in a drunken stupor. His behavior convinced the authorities that he had given up any notion of revenge. Kira's spies reported this to their master, who, reassured of his safety, slowly let his guard down. Time passed, and the Ronin dispersed, taking on different occupations to avoid suspicion. But behind the scenes, Oishi carefully plotted the attack. After nearly 2 years of waiting, the time finally came. On a bitterly cold night in midwinter, as snow blanketed the land, the Ronin gathered in Edo, where Kira resided. Dividing themselves into two groups, Oishi and his men prepared to storm Kira's residence. The attack began with the sounding of a drum, and the Ronin entered the house from both the front and back gates, overwhelming Kira's guards. They fought bravely, but none could match the determination of the Ronin, who had long prepared for this moment. As the battle raged inside the house, Kira fled and hid within an annex used for storing firewood. The Ronin searched every corner, and just as despair began to creep in, one of them found a secret room. There, crouching in the darkness, was Kira, trembling and powerless. Oishi, recognizing the scar on Kira's forehead from the attack by Asano, knew they had found their prey. He knelt before Kira and respectfully offered him the chance to die with honor by committing harakiri, as Asano had been forced to do. But Kira, paralyzed with fear, could not bring himself to do so. Seeing no other way, Oishi took up his dagger and beheaded Kira in one swift stroke. With Kira's head in their possession, the Ronin left his residence. As the day broke, they marched through the streets of Edo, heading toward the temple of Sengakuji, where their master Asano lay buried. Along the way, onlookers marveled at the sight of these bloodied yet noble men. Upon reaching Sengakuji, the Ronin washed Kira's head in a well, placed it before Asano's grave, and offered prayers for their master's spirit. Their revenge, their duty, was complete. They did not flee nor hide from what was to come. The Rônin knew the consequences of their actions, for though they had avenged their lord, they had broken the law by killing Kira. They surrendered themselves to the authorities, and after deliberation, the government sentenced them to die by harakiri. Each Rônin met their death with the same calm and resolve they had shown in life, embracing their fate as the ultimate fulfillment of their loyalty. The graves of the 47 Rônin became a place of reverence, where people came to honor their memory. Their story spread across Japan, celebrated not only for their act of vengeance, but for the steadfast loyalty and sacrifice that defined their lives. To this day, their graves remain a symbol of the unbreakable bond between a master and his retainers and of the eternal spirit of Bushido. That's a wrap, but the journey doesn't end. Explore more books by AB Mitford. You'll find the details in the description or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in AB Mitford's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.